Watch what's approaching, the supreme moment. Reality striking closer than it seems, don't it? Go ahead, it's for the taking if you want it. If not, the dream dies and you'll be forever haunted. Then confront it.
Good morning and welcome back to another session. So a couple of small updates on Dokkan Battle JP, and I'll briefly cover this, but I think the big question is, when is part 2 actually starting, and where are the damn 8 remaining tickets for the 55 summon ticket banner, or whatever you want to call it? So a lot of question marks at this point, but I did want to highlight some of the updates on the story events beforehand, and then potentially talk about the schedule for part 2 and part 3, which is different this year compared to last year. So in the in-game news itself, I mean, literally just 2 events where it is talking about, you know, the event being revamped, or not revamped, but additional stages basically coming out to where the free-to-play strength-type Zamasu unit will awaken into an LR. They are preparing the stages for that, and basically, as far as we know right now, the preparation time is February 10th on Monday, so it is coming up in about I guess, like, you know, 2 days from right now. So, you know, during this time, I don't know how long this is actually going to take place in terms of, you know, going through the preparation where the event will probably not be available. But, you know, after that, hopefully, you know, it is already at a TUR state, so hopefully it's immediately available to get this free-to-play LR unit. Because honestly, things are slowing down a little bit, and yeah, it definitely needs to heat back up. You know what I mean? The story event as well, this is the same schedule, but I mean, we already know that these guys were gonna get an EZA, but for those that missed it, this is pretty much the TUR state, so you've got the second state of up until the EZA, so basically they're still the same, Kid Broly, but Vegeta does turn into Kid Vegeta and Kid Raditz, so that is also going to be interesting to see how that is. It is going to be an EZA unit, like both the units will get an EZA, that's pretty much listed specifically here. And again, the preparation time is the same, February 10th, which is Monday, JP time obviously, so given the time zone differences, we'll have to find out, but hopefully the prep time is literally no more than, you know, 24 hours to a max of 48 hours, you know, like typically I think a day or so is pretty much all they need in terms of preparation for it, where they, you know, shut down the event. But hopefully that's the case. And once the stages are updated, I think, you know, we can immediately farm into the medals for the TUR state, and then we'll have to see if the EZAs are available as well, or if it's going to be coming out at a later point. But if it almost seems like, you know, they should have it available, so we'll have to see what the deal is with that. I mean, outside of that, you know, we obviously have the main banner for part 1, which is the LR Gogeta Blue and LR Vegeta Blue, but we don't really know what to really expect. So with that being said, I wanted to kind of look back at last year and kind of look through the schedule a little bit on potentially what to expect, right? So this is based on the news release on February 14th of 2019, so we're kind of like a week away from that, and you know, I would expect, you know, part 2 to start around that time. Obviously the EZA units for Kid Vegeta and Kid Raditz, as well as Kid Broly, and the LR Awakening for the free-to-play Zamasu, I mean, that's probably, you know, end of part 1, early piece of part 2. I mean, you're looking at, you know, February 15th last year is when part 2 started, so it'll be interesting to see if they maintain the same schedule or it's going to be pushed a little bit earlier, because again, this year it's going to be 3 total parts apparently, so that is going to make things quite interesting to figure out how they're going to jam pack everything into one, you know, one entirety of a celebration. Instead of 2 parts, it's going to be 3. So, you know what, with that being said, I mean, at the end of the day, it's an opportunity for excuse me, for a lot of stones to be given out still. I mean, part 2 and 3, we should get a fair amount of stones, and that's what they did last year. We had plenty of different types of campaign and challenges and story events and EZAs and whatever. So, you know, like, I'm looking through here, and you have all sorts of stuff that was central around, you know, the GT series, because of course the main banner units were the, LR Super Saiyan 4s. However, in part 2, like, all these events here started on February 15th, so I certainly see that happening again this year as well. I was really hoping the tickets, like total tickets you could get for the 55 summon ticket banner, would be during part 1, but it almost seems like this is going to drag out into part 2, where we're still waiting on the 8 remaining tickets. I really hope out of the 8 tickets they don't hold off on us, where a couple of them you have to wait until part 3. That's going to be pretty shitty thing to do. Like, I really wish they would just go ahead and give us all the remaining 8 tickets during part 2. But either way, like, we do have like different types of events and whatever, and then obviously the legendary banner did come out in part 2 of the 4-year anniversary, and with the LR GT Trio and LR Super Baby. But given that it's going to be 3 total parts, I mean, it's without a doubt we are going to get a legendary banner this year as well during 5-year anniversary, and a lot of people are talking about speculation on which units that's happening for. But at the same time, again, it's going to be interesting because it's split into 3 parts this year. So most likely part 2 will have a legendary banner. I just don't know what part 3 is going to entail in terms of the banner, because at the end of the day, banners are pretty much the most popular thing out of the whole bunch, you know what I mean? So we'll have to see what the deal is with that. Punch Machine obviously came out last year as well, so I would imagine they would come up with something original this time around and see what happens with that. So, I'm like I said, I'm just scrolling through all the stuff that came out last year just to provide some context, but we still have a long ways to go. Like, the official campaign doesn't end till like March 5th, and it's pretty much similar in terms of this year as well. I mean, let me just scroll through the campaign news itself. So, like, if we go here, like, it'll tell you the campaign itself is going on till March 3rd. So it's similar schedule. They're gonna compress each part because, again, we're gonna have a total of 3 parts, so it'll be interesting to see what happens with that. But again, just wanted to highlight some of the expectations going into part 2 as we close out part 1, and some of my thoughts with that. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. As always, thanks for watching, and I will catch you guys later. All right, peace out.